Okay, this video is all about an introduction to essential oils and soap making, and particularly blending them for longevity. It's a huge topic again, but I think sometimes it gets people overthink it. So let's just dive straight in. So with fragrance, and this is pretty much across the board, you'll have top notes, mid notes and base notes. Your top notes tend to be the ones that you smell first. They're the lightest. They are quite often things like all the citruses. They're all top notes. So lemon, lime, grapefruit, orange. They're the ones that generally you can smell first, but they'll fade really quickly over time. The next section is mid notes, or heart notes as they're also known. This is quite a big section. It includes things like geranium, lavender, rosemary, lemongrass, although it is a citrus, it's a mid note. Mei Chang is also a citrus but a mid note, so those two are really useful in soap making. Tea tree is a top to mid note. Eucalyptus is a mid note. I'm just looking at my little cabinet that I've got here. Rose geranium is a mid note. It's quite a big section. So they're the ones that you'll smell next, and they tend to hang around a bit longer than the top notes. And then your base notes are your woody, spicy fragrances, so things like cedarwood, sandalwood, patchouli, cinnamon, what else? Ylang ylang is a floral, but it's really, really strong, tropical kind of floral. That's also a base note. The base notes are the scents that you will smell long after everything else has disappeared. So in a perfume, you might quite often smell the citrusy top notes initially, and then it will smell different 3 or 4 hours later because you'll be left with those base notes. In soap making, just to make things difficult, not only does your fragrance have to survive the saponification, so that chemical process that goes on whilst it's becoming soap, but it also has to go through then a curing period of at least 4 weeks before you can use it. And then you've still got the top, middle and base notes to cope with as well. So it is a difficult topic, and I can totally understand why it's one that people struggle with the most. It's one of the most visited blogs on my website, as it happens. So I always say in soap making, forget all the rules about blending, because actually a lot of the time it will smell slightly different by the time it's gone through the process anyway, and you quite often won't be able to smell what you thought you would be able to smell. So forget all the rules about such and such goes with such and such goes with such and such. There are exceptions. I mean, I wouldn't put mint with, I don't know, cinnamon, for example, or with the ylang ylang, because I just don't think the floral and the mint would go, and I don't think the spice with the mint would go. But that said, I've had some really amazing students in who have done some fantastic concoctions that have come out brilliantly. And there's a really good example of that, which I always use. So I had one lady in who loves patchouli. Now, patchouli is a love it or hate it, but in soap it's brilliant because it's a base note and it lasts a long time. So she came up with an 80% patchouli, 10% cinnamon, 10% ylang ylang combination. They are all base notes, and it smelt fantastic. In fact, I made some myself. But they're all base notes. They all blend into a completely different smell. So the patchouli, even if you don't like patchouli, smells really nice. And because they're all base notes, they all last a long time. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So what I normally get everyone to do here when I do classes is have a sniff of all the essential oils I've got, and then make a list of the ones that they like the most, and then we will try and put those together. I totally appreciate that's not that easy for you to do. If you get the opportunity to go and do that somewhere, then please take it, because it's a really valuable experience. But if you want a scent which you know will last a long time, because let's be honest, it's not a cheap process buying essential oils for soap, my best advice is steer clear of the top notes and just stick with mid and base notes. If you've got a selection of essential oils at home already and you want to do a blend, brilliant, but make sure that you've got a good percentage of mid and base notes in there. If you don't know what is classed as a mid and a base note, I have got a PDF that I've attached to this particular lesson, which just gives you a little bit of an idea, and it also gives you some ideas of what blends with what, just in case you need a bit of inspiration for that. So in the UK and in the EU, we are restricted in the amount of essential oil we can use. If you're making it for yourself, less so. But in the interest of safety, I always advise everyone to use around 3% of the weight of your oils. So if you've got a recipe which is 1,000 grams, you'd be looking at 30 grams in essential oils or thereabouts. Not all essential oils can be used safely. Some are not suitable for cosmetics at all, but that is a whole different topic. The general, most common ones that I've listed in the PDF that goes with this, you'll be fine to use. So as a guide, I would say if you're using just mid notes and base notes, just use 50% of each. If you want to pop a top note in there as well, just split it 3 ways. If you just want to use one mid note or one base note, that is absolutely fine. There is no reason why you shouldn't do that. So please keep that simple. But from a blending perspective, I just really want you to understand that there's no right or wrong. Yes, some things will go better with another fragrance than others, but it's perfectly okay to push the boundaries. So stick with that kind of idea of 50-50 mid and base, or 100% mid or 100% base, or split 33-33-33 with top, mid and base, and see how you go from there. But as long as you've got a good percentage of your stronger, longer lasting oils, you will end up with a soap that still smells after your 4-week curing period, which is half the battle. So let me know what you think about that. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the discussion on this, and I'll come back in and we'll see what you come up with. But if in doubt, yeah, try the patchouli, ylang and cinnamon blend, because it is a really lovely blend. All right, good luck with that.